we'll be announcing at a later time very soon its opening. We'll also be working on our rules, agreements, and etc. when the game's websites and games are ready.
I would also like to take it from there about the rules and the terms of agreement. They will be on the website, so you will have to agree to them when you sign up. Also, we're going to rewrite these. We're going to make these rules simple, black and white, no gray area. The gist of it's just going to be if you want to play here, don't be a dick. If you want to be a dick, we'll show you the way to the door.
Okay, so I know, we've been here for years, SWG Vision of Hope, and I know there's people that's wondering why we don't want to pull that around or keep it on. We're going private. We're setting this to 18 years and older. Some of the obvious questions and answers about that is, are we going to allow 18, 17, and younger? The answer is yes, we will, but they're going to have to jump through a little extra hoop with us. This is to just keep a more mature environment about things. We're still going to be very protective in our Discord, but we don't want the bad seeds, the bad apples here. We don't want to have negative players here. We don't want those people here at all. We're shooting for a best of the best scenario. That's what we would like. That's what we want. Even if it is a smaller and more private community, it is much better in that respect simply because everyone gets along. Everyone can play together and not have some, teenage drama pulled in. Nobody wants that. We're all adults here. I'm just assuming that most of us are probably over the age of 30. There may be some youngins in here, some younger, some older, but we're all adults. We don't need to have any of that drama. We're here to play a game. We're here to have fun in this game, and that's what we want to do, and that's the decision that we've made. We don't want to lose anyone, and we definitely understand that a year's worth of loss is very hard to overcome. But we will work with you in any way to try to keep as many here, with the bags that we're working with and so on.
Yeah, I think the point here is that we're going to try to accommodate the returning players to give them a chance to catch right back up to where they left off. Granted, some things are going to be hard to replace or hard to catch you up on, but the starter packs that we're going to assemble for you, uh, along with your input on what you would like, should be sufficient to get you as close to where you were at as possible.
Sorry, guys, it's Russ here. I came in late, so I think the database was a total loss.
We tried to do a from those backups, but we don't know how deep that
Gotcha.
malware.
It's okay.
So we don't want to try to put something that's infected that has a back door open for them to come back in.
Right, I understand. Yeah, well, as far as I'm okay because I had like 2 evenings of play anyway, so I'm not,
Just to give you kind of a little bit of a rundown, I know we've gone over this with some people already, but when the attack was conducted, whoever backdoored the system completely deleted the SWG main folder that had the entire build in it. So you can't just replace that. They went in and started deleting parts of the repo. Like the what they deleted was irreplaceable in order to make it work with any kind of a backup or a former database. So we tried everything we could to see if we could recover that, and it just wasn't happening. So we ended up having to go with a completely new build, and unfortunately, you can't just drag in a former database to a completely new build because something simple like object IDs would be completely off. Like it would take a mastermind or genius to sit here for 2 or 3 weeks in a row while their eyeballs are bleeding to change every single one of the object IDs to make it work. So
no, I understand. Trust me, I write software for a living, so
Good deal.
So the long and short of it is whoever attacked us, we're not pointing any fingers, they knew exactly what to delete and exactly what to do to make it virtually impossible to continue on with that DB. So I've been here from probably 4 a.m. Me, Horror, Erebus, some guys from that we're getting help from. I'm sure Erebus and everybody will talk about them in a little while. Invaluable help. We've been here 4 a.m. They're EU. I've been here 12 and 13-hour days, and we've tried pretty much everything. So, this is where we had to end up, and it sucks. I know everybody, not everybody's going to be happy about it, but, it is what it is.
The
And
cool
some,
thing, though, is you're going to have that real estate you always dreamed of, because there ain't going to be any buildings on the planet when you load in.
Yeah, because I'm starting a structures trader first and running for my old home.
something else I'd like to throw out there. Please keep in mind that your CSRs should be the first ones that you reach out to. We love our devs, but it's really, really hard to, and it's not that they don't want to help you, but they're neck deep in code. So I'm not saying you can't talk to them, but they're busting butt on the back end that you guys don't see. So please make sure that anything that you need help with, please reach out to your CSRs first. Nader and I will bend over backwards to try to help you to log stuff. Please reach out to us first. That way our devs are busy on what they need to work on that end, and they're not being unnecessarily interrupted. Once you get going on some of that stuff, you can't really take a break. You got to keep going on it. So please make sure you're reaching out to Nader and I with any issues or problems, and we will do our very best to help you out. And I know Erebus has always had an open door policy. I admire that. That's one of the things that I love about him. But again, he's busy trying to help some of the coders and some of the back end stuff too. If it's something that he will have to do, please believe me, Nader and I will reach out to him. We're just trying. Everybody has different expertises and little niches that they're good at. So we're trying to kind of keep everybody in the same lane, so that people are not being bothered with something that isn't theirs to take care of and fix. So again, please do not hesitate to reach out to Nader or myself for anything that you might need.
What about players that are just starting to join?
We will still give them the player bag. Let's just be frank. There's no reason to start off at level 1. And struggle through for a few weeks to get to level 90. Most new players aren't really new. They've played in the past. Some of them's coming
Well,
from
yeah,
Legends.
I'm from little bit can vouch for me. I'm from Legends, so I'm an old man. So
yeah. So why is it that you played from Legends and you were already level 90 over there? Why should we make you grind from level 1 to 90 all over again? You've got the option. Every player within, right now we're saying 7 days of our opening, we're going to hand these bags out. After that, we're not going to do it. We may be able to push it a little longer, but this is also one of those, upfront in the door type of things. You need to be here. You need to be present to get this. But yeah, why can't we give you a level 90? We can, actually. We can give it to you on all characters you can create. And if you want to use it, you can. If you don't want to use it, that's on you. Everybody's obviously going to start at level 1. Some may not, and go through.
usually the one I like grinding out the most, but without having to boost them, is usually crafters and entertainers, because those are always fun.
Yeah, well, there you go. You know, switch to a
think-
crafter, use your holocron, and boom.
I think the point too here is, I mean, we tried to do this with the old regime. We wanted to run the server with some integrity, and for lack of a better phrase, I guess, make you work for the stuff you wanted. But at the same time, here now we realize with this disaster that we just had to fix, that people may not want to start over. So we're not going to make you do that. We've got a time frame in mind. What we'll do is we'll post an announcement when we get ready to launch on the Discord channel, and we'll also put an announcement on the website forums that we're in the process of rebuilding right now before anybody gets started. That way you know exactly what to expect. You'll know when you need to log on and when those bags will stop being handed out, so that everybody's got a fair and free chance at getting ahead.
Yeah. So basically, every player will get the gift bag. Everybody that creates an account and contacts one of the CSRs or myself, we will give every player a gift bag. Every player on the account. So you're going to be able to have 6 characters at the moment. We're going to keep the 6. So we're going to give you 6 per account. And the returning player, if there isn't a returning player, they'll only get that bag just once, but they'll still get the other bag.
Also, and this was something I had mentioned with Erebus earlier, I think that after 7 days, we're going to cut off giving out the 30K deeds because we want to stimulate the economy, but we don't want to kill it.
I have a question for Erebus.
Okay.
Does this project still have the endorsement from the Cerebellum crew?
I'll be honest, I don't really know.
I don't think that anybody had an endorsement from any particular group. I know they had a big dealing with finalizing the code that they released. That's the code that we have. So I don't think VoH had any specific endorsements from anybody in particular either.
The Cerebellum crew openly endorses Vision of Hope. I was just wondering if that still carried over.
I'm honestly hoping that it does. It's just something that we could probably reach out to them and just clarify on. But yeah, I'm hoping that everything just follows suit.
I think you guys are making a good decision. I think I'm going to speak for most people here who have probably been around since Project SWG. The problem with the public is you have a staff, you have a figurative shit hit the fan moment. You lose a player base, you have a turnover, you restart. It's the same rinse and wash repeat that I think most SWG players, including myself, are done with. I don't think without a professional team that a public server can actually last, because even though Legends is pretty stable right now, we thought it was stable in the last in later times, and there's always been the shit hit the fan moment. I think by going private, you can choose who you let on the server, being specific to troublemakers, and you stand a chance of having a stable crew with a stable player base, and you're able to be more selective on who you let in. And I think in the long run, I don't think it'll be an immediate, but I think in the long run, you'll see the majority of the player base that still plays look on that and say, you know what, it might not be the biggest, it might not be the most populated, but I'm not going to log in and find out that somebody got their pennies in a wad and deleted everything. So I for one, think this was probably the best decision that this project has been with, and I've been with Project Vision of Hope, the Vision of Hope people since it first came around. I don't think you guys are making a bad decision here. I think it's probably the best one that any emulator has made.
Amen.
I'm sad I have to agree. It sounds like locking it down is the best thing we can do.
Well, I mean, it's not that we don't want players here. That's not true. We don't want bad players here. We don't want bad people here, and we can do something about that. So that's how I envisioned it. That we take care of business. Players people are worried about advertising in this. I hate to say it, but Star Wars and anything related to Star Wars sells itself. So the game has always been on an emulator. Word of mouth is the best way to advertise. And anybody that knows Legends may have heard of us, may have heard of whatever. So it's still advertising, and we don't need to do that. I mean, we need to just let's get the good people. Let's take the best of the best. Let's not take the worst of the worst. We don't need them.
And you don't have to. You don't have to take the worst of the worst. I think going private is the best decision. I will say that over and over again. I have not played SWG for that reason. I've been a little dark, and I saw the update on Discord. You guys will have an AMA, and I saw that check in. I may come back and play for this. I just think it's great that you can be able to pick and be selective on who you let into this server, because if you don't, you're going to have the same thing. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. We've seen this on, Legends. We've seen it on Reborn. I mean, it happens the same thing. A new group reforms. They have a shitstorm, and another group reforms, and the player base just gets shitted on every single time. And
I think what you might understand at some point in the near future, if you pay attention, is that some of those servers are relying on donations for whatever their cause is. So they're going to tend to aim their project towards population, and they're going to allow a lot of crazy things to happen. That's not the case here. While donations are nice, we're not relying on those. We've got a system. We've got our hardware. We've got our network together, and we're dealing with a cost that's probably not bank breaking. So that's one reason why we want to go private. We want to make sure the players are happy, make sure you're logging in and playing, and there's not a lot of drama. So while you still might get drama, it might go from 95% down to about 35% on the drama. So I think that's what you'll realize when you start playing again.
And while you were hitting on being selective as to who can play and who can't, there's only 2 players for sure that are not coming back to this server, and I'm saying this publicly. I'm sure there might probably somebody in here recording it, so it is on record. That is Zaus and Erotica. They will not be playing on this server ever.
Amen.
Thank God I have to deal with them over on Legends. That's bad enough.
Okay, now I feel grateful that I don't know with them.
Yeah, and until this thing gets moving along and gets like an economy rolling and get some items rolling, some of the staff members that play regularly, we'll try to fill in the gaps with our own personal player characters where we can too. So I think an economy is important. So some of you guys that love crafting, get your characters back to where they were. Start collecting those resources and build stuff for yourself and your guilds, but also build stuff to throw on the vendors for the for the rest of the player base.
Yeah.
I think if we get an economy going, people are going to start coming back. I'm still going to be working on the planets. I know I've told some of you guys. Some of you guys may not know. I mean, my only skill set that I brought along with me when I was brought on board to this team was putting in the grunt work to build a planet. I haven't lost any of those files. I'm still working on it. But in the meantime, between now and releasing that new expansion that I was hoping to release, I gotta learn how to fix code and administer a server and all that other stuff. But don't worry, that stuff will come for sure. I've got plenty of content ready to roll as soon as I finish up the last little bits and pieces that I'm working on.
I wouldn't honestly stress out too much about the hiccup. I think if anybody has been around since Reborn, I think we're all pretty much used to hiccups. You guys kind of got dealt a shit hand with that, but I think if you keep true to the mission here on making this a 100% cancer free. Well, nothing can be 100%, but majority cancer-free community by the two names that you named out. 100% behind. I don't think they should be allowed on any server unless they just want to die, because that server is dead if they get on there, because those people just breed hate and cancerous. I mean, just they live for it. They live to kill the server.
Yeah, and some of those people may accidentally get access somehow. People do, they get different IP addresses. They come in with different character names or whatever. But trust me when I tell you that our CSRs will find out.
We will find you.
And
we
when
will
they find
find
out, they're
you.
going to be gone. So don't worry. But I was about to say something else and I forgot, but that's okay.
Yeah, Jelly and I are going to keep the band hammers in hand. We don't want to swing them, but they are in hand.
Well,
you put in what you
haven't had the best reputation in SWG emulators, but I speak my mind, especially when I say bullshit, specifically in Legends. I haven't had any problems in VoH because, for the most part, everybody was pretty much on their honesty there that I saw.
I don't know if you followed a lot of my threads on the forums before they were taken down, but I'm a huge advocate of trying to get buy-in from the player base first. So a lot of times I'll solicit for ideas. And when we make a decision on something, we'll usually solicit for ideas. You know what I mean? Like put it out there, like, what do you think first before we actually put something into play?
If you actually want different ideas, try coding in other races, because I know there's a couple other servers that used to do it, and I think Restoration was one. They had it for a while, but they were having too many issues with it because the base ones, don't get me wrong, I love the base ones, but having a different change, would be nice. But
that is on the table. We've been talking about that for a while. We're not making any promises on it, but please know that is something, that is an idea that is being talked about and tossed around.
I have a very good friend who is in this server right now, and he will speak because he's been helping us. His server, in fact, it is a pre-CU server, but they do have extra races, and that will be a thing that I will be working on immediately after we're up and stable. So yes, that's my goal. That is the first thing I will be working on.
And since we brought that up too, it would only be right if we plug them guys too. If some of you guys are interested in both sides of the house and you had enjoyed pre-CU, we fully endorse and recommend SREMU. So you guys need to go check that out. And if you want to get some good gaming in, while we're working on our fixes, by all means, hit those guys up, create your accounts, get authenticated, and enjoy life over there too.
There's a real good team environment they have. They've already got new planets put in. They've got new content. They've pushed quite a bit of stuff, So it's a good environment. They have been very helpful, very friendly. So, yeah, I mean, it's only fair. And actually, it's really nice that they've done what they have. So, we do endorse them.
The Restoration guys are doing a good job with their CU server. If anybody hadn't check that out while you're waiting for this one to come up, it's in the beginning stages. They've got some of the UI worked out that they're slowly implementing, but that CU server is the first one that I've known to be around. I haven't heard anyone talk too much about the CU client, but they are implementing one right now. It's the old SWG Restoration guys that are doing that. And that's a great community too. While you're buying your time, it may be something you can play both. I know some people play the pre-CU and play NGE as well, but the CU server is the first one that I've heard that's coming out, and they're almost finished with the complete CU client.
And for those of you that are sticking with us and have been patient through all this, we greatly appreciate it. Some of you guys have shown amazing support to what we're doing and expressed empathy for what we're going through, please know that we appreciate that you appreciate us. We're doing our best for everybody, and we just appreciate the support that we've had from our community going through a lot of this.
I just want to join a freaking server, honestly, where the economy isn't freaking broken and the devs on Legends don't give a freaking crap because half of them are the ones that are doing it.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's not going to happen
ridiculous.
You won't
I
see
can
any
understand 4 or 5 waste pack, is a pain in the ass, to find, but seeing it up on freaking vendors for max freaking credits is freaking ridiculous.
That's credit sellers. That's people buying credits. That is a clear indication of the buying and selling of credits going on.
And I mean, also over there, I mean, little bit, she can vouch for this. Trying to get freaking a dev to help you out with something, if you're stuck or anything, it takes them freaking a week. The only dev over there that will actually help you the most, because he's always on, is Anton, and lately he hasn't even been on.
Hey,
Yeah,
Rob.
well, and with us, Nader and I respond as quick as we can. We're not going to leave you hanging. We do our best to get in there. And with the economy here, that's, the pluses, one of the pluses to starting like this, even though, a lot of it sucks, is it will keep the economy manageable. That's one of the reasons, we're going to give some of the gift bags the way we are. I mean, number one, we want to reward you guys that are hanging with us. But this will keep, hopefully, the economy from being completely trashed and keep things reasonable, because part of the reason we all loved SWG when it was live was it was about community. It was about working together. It was about that teamwork. That's one of the reasons we all loved it. You're not going to find, or at least I never did, in any other game, a community that was as great as it was on SWG. You worked together, you helped one another, and in any other game I ever played, I never found that. It just, the communities just sucked. So, keep that in mind, help one another. I know Erebus and I, we will run instances with people. I will help you run your tune through prereqs to get that done. We like to interact with you guys. We like to play with you guys. So, this will hopefully keep things a lot more stable. And, again, if there are issues, or concerns, please don't hesitate to bring those to us. And we will do our very best to help you guys with that stuff.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, you helped me a lot, in Legends, and whenever you were on, or I saw you on the Legends chat, I could always you would always log on, even if you were in the middle of doing something, and give me a buff, because half the entertainers over there were always AFK.
Yep, and that's something else too. Yes, we're a smaller community, but like Erebus said, quality is what matters. An entertainer is usually one of the first things I level. And I don't mind at all logging that in. If somebody doesn't have one on, don't be afraid to send me a message and say, Jelly, we need a freaking ant over here. A lot of other people are really good about that here too, putting the med bots on and the officer bots and stuff like that. Don't, if somebody doesn't have one on, please don't be afraid to reach out and let me know, or let one of us know, and we're happy to log that stuff in and help you guys. And damn it, I'm kind of a must finish something. So I'm going to want that int collection to give the higher timed buffs. I can't do that unless, people are coming and getting those.
Oh yeah.
And I had already mentioned to Erebus that these first couple of weeks, I think he and I are both going to do it because Erebus did keep a med bot up. I'm also going to keep a med bot up. But once you guys get on your feet and moving, we'd like to see you guys take over the bot spots.
I can't stay for the rest of the same way, but I want to say two things before I go. Number one, you're headed in the right direction. And number two, you earned my trust back when you said you wasn't letting Zaus and Kitty back in. So you'll see me around a lot more. You guys are doing the right thing, and you're going to bring me out of retirement.
Thanks, man. Good to have you back.
Definitely appreciate it.
Have a good one, guys.
All right.
Take care, man.
All right, so I'll throw it out there just before we start wrapping up or before we take a lot of questions. Disporo, you guys see him in voice here, is the showrunner over at SREMU. They are a great server. I'll say it 100 times. Those guys have helped me more than holy crap. It's insane. So great server. I even went over there and made it too. Just check it out. So they got ideas that I will be hitting them for, especially with the new races, like I said. So you guys need any information on that, that's your man. You guys send him a message, and I'm sure he'll talk all day for you. So there you
go. Are there any questions? Does anybody want to ask anything or?
For people, granted, I'm here, because I saw a little bit on the forums when I was searching for a new server. In the pack, for people that are just coming, what's all going to be in it? Have you guys figured that out?
Yes, we have. Actually, I mentioned it earlier, but I'll say it again. Every player bag that we give out, we have 2 sets. We've got players that's been here since day one.
I'll copy and paste them in the server discussion.
Yeah, there you go.
I have a question. The Ilum UI, the rare loot system crate drops system, or whatever the hell that is, and then the what was the other one? I'm going blank. I'm sorry.
While you're waiting, while you're waiting for your hard drive to catch up on that last item, before you get too deep into your question, I'm guessing you want to know if it's still there. The rare loot system is definitely in there, and the UI thing is already built in. So
okay, cool.
Yeah, you got nothing to worry about there. I'm in the middle of testing my local server environment on my desktop right now, and I can load in, and I've already collected quite a few rare loot chests and everything. The veteran token system was
the other one. Yeah, sorry.
that was an add-on. I don't know how much brain power was put into to that build by the last crew, but I'll dig in and see if I can find where any of that stuff might still exist, because we do have some of the repo files that weren't deleted on us. If it exists, I'll try to replicate that for the server for sure. I'll be doing a lot of that. I know buff times and a few other items that Erebus had mentioned. I'm going to dig in and try to find those files and adjust that stuff and make sure that works too before I get back to planet building. But yeah, it'll take some time, but it'll all get back to normal. Don't worry.
I got a suggestion for you there on those veteran awards. Some of those would just make great crest rewards, wouldn't they?
Make what? What kind of reward?
Great rewards for a quest.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And we'll get to the quests as soon as humanly possible.
Right. I mean, think about it. It's like, what else can you give? It's like, hey, we'll give out some of these veteran rewards.
Well, remember, we got Aethys coming. So we've played that card pretty close to our vest. And while, we've released some stuff, and Horror and I have shown y'all a few screenshots of things we're doing, please know that that's going to be an entire expansion, and you never know what kind of good stuff we've got planned for that.
And also keep in mind that, as was blatantly made 100% clear, we're not getting the TCG. So we are going to be implementing TCG items via quest rewards, loot drops, different places like that.
Events.
So events. So keep an eye on that coming up too.
Yeah, we've got several ideas already running that we were actually starting to do on Vision of Hope. And we're just going to keep it up, keep adding them, keep doing. So
Yeah, all the stuff that we had going on, the QOLs and little suggestions like that y'all were tossing out. Please know none of that has been ignored. And you might think we're ignoring it. We're not. There's just we have plans for that. We have not stopped working back end on stuff like that, and some of the things that we want to do and some of the things that we want to implement. But sometimes, and unfortunately, it is what it is. It's been a lot of triage. Yes, there are tons of things that we would love to implement and do, but other things have to be handled and stable, or it's not going to do us any good to introduce something for it to just turn around and break all the hell and back. So, please know that stuff was listened to, and we still have plenty of plans for the things that we want to do moving forward, and things happening.
Anybody else want to ask anything?
Yo,
Yeah,
Pikachu.
I'd like to ask something.
Okay, start from the top then.
Basically, we are going private. So, are we still? I mean, we're still opposed to advertising at all. I mean, just a little bit.
I mean, what players do is on them, but as far as us, like you're not going to see a paid TV advertisement from us.
No, I don't expect that. I mean, I know I had talked to you guys a little bit about doing some stuff, YouTube or whatever.
Yeah, we're all for that. The biggest way this game gets its advertisement in today's world is literally from the players. I mean, YouTube, Facebook, all that's great. I mean, whatever players put on their personal YouTube or Facebook, that advertises for us, that's fantastic. We definitely support that, and but the players that are wanting to come here and play, they're going to have to fill out an application. More details will be on that, but like I said, we don't want bad people here. Basically, we don't want people here that are just here to cause problems. We want people here that want to play the game without all these negatives that's going on in other projects like Legends and so on. We tried to escape that ourselves, and seems to come right around and be a victim of it nonetheless. So the best way that we can do it is to shut ourselves off from the rest. Desporo and his crew, SRMU, they've been very patient with us. They've helped us. They're not an NGE project, they're a CU project, so they don't really hurt us either, and neither do we. We sort of feed off of each other and help each other, so it is a good relationship. And I'm not saying that we're not talkative to other servers or other projects. We're open to talk to any one of them. But we are going private with our players. We can choose who comes here. We can choose what type of people and what type of players we want here. So that's what we want to do. Most everybody here now seems, fairly solid. I don't see anybody that has caused a problem in the past. So, yeah, I mean, they're
Absolutely, and I 100% agree with that. And
Oh, besides, I'm just a perverted old man, but that's a whole nother story.
I want to put out there too, since you brought up like the poor players and all that shit. We do know shit talk's going to happen, especially when PvP kicks off, and it will be in the rules that as long as you keep it in the PvP channel or the cantina, and it doesn't spill out from there, say whatever the hell you want to each other.
yeah, absolutely. And one thing I want to also ask with everybody in here, because there's a lot of people that I haven't seen before. I mean, if you guys play, if you're not from this project or VoH or anything, you play on different servers, like Legends or whatever. If you have people on those servers that that you play with, maybe like another guild that you run heroics with or do, events with or something, and you're like, hey, man, these guys are good guys, or let's get them over here. I mean, that would be my reach out to all of you guys in here is to basically get involved with, your friends and stuff. And if we can get everybody on this server, I mean, we're all a good group here, and we've gotten rid of the cancer now, so it's going to be a good thing, I think, for the future.
And please make sure, and I'm not grapping at you guys, but we do make the announcements and things. Please make sure that you're checking that channel, so you know what's up. Nader and I are CSRs because we want to help you guys. But please make sure that you're holding some accountability to yourself, that you're checking those announcements to see what's going on. We post things as quick as we can to let you guys know what's going on.
One more thing, with our rebranding, this Discord as well, once we are almost ready to start, we'll go through and pretty much wipe the Discord. I will send out an announcement. Obviously, I'll have the announcement ready. It'll have the new web address, web page that everyone can go to and get the game and etc. So, just so if you skip a day or two and come back and you're not any longer a part of this Discord, just check for our website, which, like I said, it will be put out in the coming days.
What other questions are out there?
I have one question. Is it possible that the ancestor characters or players, is it possible that you can put the prerequisites already on the character?
No, I don't think those can be auto-loaded like that.
Okay.
Which, I mean, and several of you have run the prereqs with me, except Mustafar. I will gladly let somebody run me through Mustafar.
Maybe what we could do is schedule kind of like
I was gonna say
a mass prerequisite day.
Yeah, I will make announcements for those. I just ask that you trust the method to the madness of how I do it, and keep up. They shouldn't take more than 3.5 hours tops, but I've got no problem running groups to do the prereqs. I think most of y'all that have run them with me will tell you I make it pretty painless. If you'll just follow and keep up, I've got no problem doing that. But if I ask you to send me a DM, please do. That way I can plan ahead as much as I can to make sure we've got everything we need. And I know how many people we're going to be dealing with, but I've got no problem running those groups.
What we could probably also do too to make it easier is on the days, we can plan days that are specific to that. And we can have the staff people go out there and drop camps next to those different areas.
Yeah, Zinja's great about that for me.
Yeah, we'll make sure we got camps dropped for the entire day. on whatever day we put on the calendar that we're going to do that. That way it's like a mass event. Even if you don't take a CSR or staff character with you, and you guys decide you want to rekey your guild and stuff with your own groups, that's fine. But we'll make sure we got the assets in place for you.
Yeah, since we started this, our biggest thing, since we are going private, we want to take care of you. We really want to show you that's what we are about. We want all of our players that are going to come and play. We want them to actually experience and have fun, and skip all the bad. And we can do that. So that's what we will do. I mean, we're all about playing ourselves. All of us are players, and that's what we want. We want to experience and enjoy. So that's what we're going to do.
Okay, and one thing I wanted to find out also is the GCW part. Is it possible to put some points or or anything like that in that bag also to stimulate the economy in that for everybody's hard work and everything like that?
For GCW and ranks, I mean, we could put some in, but we've also got bonus sets, and so for the first few weeks, maybe even the first month, we're going to jack the bonuses up. We want people to get in and jumpstart things and have fun. So GCW is going to be up, tokens are going to be up, space, all these things
XP.
are XP.
Yeah.
All these things are going to be boosted. We may not raise RLS because the last iteration was bad. There was just too much, so we may leave it. But the rest of it that doesn't really affect anything, we're going to boost it up. And then after that, we're looking. We'd already sort of discussed it. We've missed events. We'll probably be pushing the GMF event close to its launch, or if maybe but what we're probably going to do is open up every event. Run Empire Day for a week, and then run, GMF for a week, and then run Love Day for a week, and then run Life Day for a week, and then turn around and do it again, just so everybody has a chance to go through all the events, and then we'll catch the schedule up, with whatever's next, whether it's GMF or Life Day or whatever.
Please know if we don't boost something like that, there is a rhyme or a reason to it. Again, everybody is kind of starting on an equal playing field here. So, everybody's kind of getting a fresh start. So while we want to help you, we want everybody to have fun and have what they need and want that. We do have to keep a balance to things. So if something doesn't happen, please trust that there is a rhyme and reason to it.
Yeah, and I may as well push this out too. It's been talked about. 4 guilds. Okay, so I know some questions are about cities. I'm a returning player. I've got 40 members in my guild. Do I have to wait, the full period of time to get my city back? The answer is no. You don't have to wait. We will help you. If you contact us and say, look, I've got 50 players. They've already, declared residents. I'd like to go ahead and get my city pushed back up. We will help you. We will push it up as long as you've got the players.
Okay, and one last thing. Awesome, that's cool. I was wondering if they were thinking about bringing back TK Masters.
So new professions, that's something that we discussed previously. There's not been a real conversation since. So it is a possibility. We all liked a couple of things, not necessarily Terracost Master, but, at least another profession or two. At least one is on the back burner. And it's possible for the other, but yeah. Okay, so I've got a cities update that I'd been working on for the better part of 3 or 4 months. Um, I don't mind releasing some of that information. Some of this was basically fixing, you know, the city specializations. Some of them just didn't make any sense to me. One of them was for a cloner. If you got this, you could take 25% or 15% off of cloner fees. Well, that's just silly. If I'm paying for this every month, why do I need to pay anything at all? So, eventually we're hoping to adjust and make a really nice cities update. Leaving the maintenance the way it is, it's a good choice. It's a low maintenance. It's not really heavy, but fixing certain things about the city specializations, all those could be updated. Fixing things like, if you're a rank 3 city, you automatically get the research part, but you can pick one more. Well, when you're rank 4, you automatically get the research, and you can pick 3 more specializations, and so on for rank 5. So some of this, we have the idea and baseline of what we want to do. That's fairly done. It's just, getting the time to fix it and put it in. Right now we definitely have other work to do, but eventually, yes, we will work with the cities. As far as like a shuttle port to starport, I don't think there'll ever be a starport in a player city.
No, that's game breaking. There's too many scripts and stuff attached to that. Unfortunately, that's virtually undoable.
But I mean, it is possible to remove the rank 4 requirement for a shuttle and make it a rank 3. But it should be debated. I mean, I kind of like it being at rank 4 myself. That's one rank before the cap, but I'd like to see the cap, have something different. And if we could do the city, I think it would work really well, being able to get more specializations and, more deco items in the city. And
I'd think about any city changes like that very carefully. But yeah, you're right, approaching it with caution.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we'll push it to our test center first, and we will go over it thoroughly. And that's something else, we will have an open TC along with the live, all of our fixes, everything. Even if it's, like the timers and stuff and issues like that, we're going to push it to TC first, make sure it works right, and then we're going to go ahead and push it to live. There's no real ETA on like how many updates we're going to do a month or hot fixes or anything like that. We're hoping to get a schedule. Same with the restart. We're already discussing what day we should restart it. We're wanting to keep it sometime in the evening. That way it doesn't really affect any Europe players or Europe time zone players or any American players or any other players.
Well, it's okay. I haven't used a sick day in well over 2 years. I'm not feeling well now.
I think instead of Sundays, we're brainstorming probably like a Tuesday. There'll be a weekly, at a minimum, there'll be weekly restarts and probably backups too, just to be safe.
Yeah. So, once we do a backup on Tuesday or whatever, let's just say Tuesday, it will be down for a couple of hours so that we can take a weekly backup. So that needs to be expected.
Yeah, but regardless, kind of when it is, we don't set out to do them to deliberately disrupt your gameplay or anything else. It's just as much of a pain in the butt for us. We hate it when stuff's down just as much as you guys too. But we all have kids, jobs, etc. that we have to tend to. So, please bear with us as we do what we have to do. When we do it, it's not that we set out to deliberately disrupt anything, but all of us have other things going on too.
I don't think anybody in this channel feels that way.
Nope. I just want a server that the freaking economy is not literally screwed up on things, and it's ridiculous.
More backups, please.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I had an overseller that lived next to me in Live, and I encouraged him to quit.
Whoa.
Yeah. He hated my guts. I think it was actually VNG that made him quit, but
Okay, does anybody have anything else they'd like to say or bring up? Any other questions for staff, me, or anybody else?
What's your ETA on the server being back up?
So we don't have a real ETA.
don't make a guess. You'll regret it.
Well, I could make an educated guess. I mean, we've already got the VM up for test and live. You know, it's just how much time do we want to pass before we open it? You know, we need a testing phase to make sure what we've got is what we've got. And then we need a transition phase from, you know, test to live.
About a week.
I mean, you know, the sooner the better, but also, you know, I want to make sure that we're not missing things when we're testing. The less work we have to do later on is the more work we do up front. I'd rather do it up front than struggle later.
Yeah, that would really be irritating if it started up and you weren't. Yeah, just wait till you're ready.
So who is able to help test? So
A little bit can get a hold of me if you need somebody.
yeah, that was a question. I'm gonna answer Ivini's first. We may hand out in the regular player, you know, a choice of a TCG item with certain restrictions, obviously. But yeah, I mean that's not something that is really bad. And as far as who is able to help, you know, if you have an interest in helping test, you know, it's probably a good idea to send a message to me or any of the staff and just say that once we're ready for testers, you know, to be sure to holler out. We will. There'll be a document that, you know, we're going to go over through and try to have everybody, you know, sign. That way we've got a record of who done what. That way, once we do start rewarding those people for that, you know, we'll have an accurate record.
I've never tested before, really, but I would love to help with that, honestly.
Testing easy, dude. All it really is just testing out bugs and everything and let them know what they need to fix.
Yeah, I mean, go run Legacy, go fully complete Legacy, go run the theme parks, go,
no.
You know, it's all these things. Go fly in space, go try GCW2, go PvP in Rustus, go, you know, try to loot a 4-5 holocron, go.
Nim's theme park.
Yeah.
Are you guys gonna
It's
make
just-
that's the question. Are you guys gonna make those 4 or 5 holocrons drop a little bit more than they drop on Legends?
They actually had a pretty decent drop rate here. I mean, it's still the rare one, but they're certainly obtainable here. What y'all are going to have to remember here, yeah, it's going to be a little better because it's a smaller community, and again, you know, we're not going to have a bunch of assets here that just screw up the farming for
Because
everybody
I've been
else.
playing on Legends for a little over 2 years, just about now, and I still have not gotten 4 or 5 or 1 of 5 Sith Waste.
Well, I mean, just from Legends, which I was a big grinder there too. I'd gotten several, and even on VoH, you know, it may just be where you're grinding.
I've been doing Dathomir. I've been doing the Night Sisters. I've been doing the Jedi's. They just do not drop because they've got their drop rate set too low.
They were hard to get in Live, weren't they? That 4 out of 5, I think. Was that the one in Live that was so hard to get?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to fool with our drop rates unless we absolutely need to. You know, if they're dropping, they're supposed to be rares and non-rares for a reason. But if it's so bad, we may adjust it slightly. But I'd rather just leave the loot rates default if they're working correctly.
What about adding in those when you guys had the month of every day we logged in, we got an item kind of thing? Are you guys thinking about giving those out as well? Because the trash can alone would help with that.
That's something that, we can probably go back and get our old list and start handing them out on a daily basis as well. I mean, we've got a large table in front of us that we're going to have to fill, and we're going to try to do all these things. It's just going to take a little bit of time, and a little bit of patience, but we're all for, trying to get us all back to where we want to be.
I missed a couple of questions. Sorry.
One good question was, there were several good questions, but one of the better ones was the anniversary month that we had, and that system that delivered the items that we wanted to hand out. Basically, it was asked if we could get that again.
Yeah, I'll do what I can for sure. Try to get that back up.
Even the worst case is we've got a list, and we can just sort of make one backpack and give it out to everyone.
Oh, that's much better than 30 days.
But, it could be something that we do on our next anniversary.
I got another question. What about for the people that love doing space? You gonna give them master pilot, or are they gonna have to grind it all out too?
That's gonna be, you're gonna have to grind it.
You're going to have XP boost though.
There's gonna be XP boost. Also, when we go live, since we're gonna have about a week or so where we're testing everything, I am going to have parts ready for everybody to be able to grind with.
Yeah. As space and crafting are my primary gameplay, please don't give me Master Pilot. Earning it is part of the fun.
You can't.
Oh yeah. I was just curious, because it's always good to ask questions because you never know what they're going to put in.
Yeah, that's true.
The space system is still based on jump to light speed, so it's still got the whole trainer thing, so you can't really just level people up with that.
But yeah, I'm definitely going to have, they're not going to be the greatest parts, but you'll at least be able to grind your aces out.
Well, if you like space, you just have to ask me for help, and I'll help.
Oh, I love spy. I'm doing my last of my master pilot quest chain on Legends right now for my Aces of Aces.
Well, you got a wingman right here.
You're
something else. I know I've heard several of y'all saying, you like the crafting and this and that. I'm not a space person. I get sick, like literally sick. Nader is totally your space guy, but please know I do not mind cranking 35s. Bring me the stat and the junk loot, and I'll make them for you all day.
You still haven't made my set on live or on Legends yet.
You didn't ask me for a set.
No, wait, that was Meta that I asked. He never made it for me.
Uh-huh.
I knew it was somebody from Devils because you were Devils for a little bit.
Yeah, it wasn't me. All my orders got filled.
Yeah, it's okay. Meta still owes me 50 million. Bastard, don't even play anymore.
So just know we are, we're here. We're willing to help. Nader's going to help you get your space stuff done. We're going to give you some stuff to start out as far as, your suits and things like that. Any additional stuff. I'm happy to make your 35s if you want custom clothing. Send me a DM. I'm more than happy to help you out with that and not charge you an arm and a leg to do it. Again, one of the good things is, we can keep the economy stable. So that's a good thing. I'm more than happy to help out with that stuff.
All you crafters that have always dreamt of cornering markets and being bazillionaires.
Now's the time.
Guess what?
Now is the time.
And something I mentioned earlier, and if you tell us that the character is going to be your trader, instead of the heroism set, we'll put in the tinkerer set instead.
Yeah, we'll definitely work with you. I mean,
that way you can have, as it's just a heroism set with a 3,500 heal for the trader. So if you got to clear layers or you get attacked, you can at least run and heal up.
This may sound like a stupid question, but if are we not able to also, like maybe in a year or 2 years down the road, able to do, since this is a private server situation, to do YouTube videos?
You can do that personally now. I mean, that's on you, the player.
Out of respect, though, that's what I mean, because I know you guys are just in the middle of doing stuff, and I don't want to. I know you probably want to lay low a little bit or something like that or whatever, but
by all means, we want you guys to get the word out about this server and it being a good server.
Right.
Yeah, when it launches, when we launch and we're open, have fun.
Okay.
Go crazy.
I just wanted to make sure that I didn't see I wasn't confused.
Yeah, new players are still going to have to come in and fill out an application. So, the more that we've got coming in and doing it, the more that we can vet, and whether they do or not, either way, we all feel that this is the best.
Okay, thank you very much.
And, we know that some probably will leave, Prophecy, they've got a backup of the old SWG VoH. Another reason that we're getting away from the VoH, we don't like what they've done. We don't condone what they've done. What they've done is bad. So, we're getting away from it. If players want to not lose a year's worth of game time on VoH, it's there. It's just it's a bad situation, I guess. We hope that you don't. We really hope that you don't go over there and support that type of behavior. Like I said, it's unfortunate that we have, lost all of it, but we all feel that this is the best move for us, being able to separate ourselves from the rest.
Now, starting honestly, if you have to think about it, with what happened to you guys, starting over from scratch is a lot better than not having anything at all, because then you guys can go in and do your own little tweaks and stuff that you couldn't do before.
Yeah, and we're all excited about doing that. I've kept most of my ideas, and I know the rest of the team have a lot of their ideas, and we will work on these. Finch, he's not with us. He's gone due to medical. He was a big step for us, but we'll manage. We'll overcome. We hope that he is becoming well, and we've got definite high hopes for Desporo and the SR team. We're able to ask them questions and figure this out. And the best way that we can learn is to ask questions to somebody that will actually give us the answer, instead of ignore us or deter us or refer us to somebody else that just keeps on that same garbage. In a general loose term, usually when somebody figures something out, they don't share it with anyone else, especially when it comes to development. So, it's nice to know that if we have something we want to do and somebody else has done it, or, has the knowledge, we can approach them and say, hey, how do we do this? And we don't have to worry about them being a douchebag and saying, I'm not telling you because you're with this group, or I'm not telling you because I don't want you to know. They'll let us know. They'll show us and teach us, and hopefully we can do the same for them.
For cloaks wise, is it just going to be the same ones that always dropped for the Jedis, or are you going to add in the one from the Elder Jedis too, the Arbiter robes?
Well, I mean, we'll add them in. Obviously, we'd like to at least build content around it. But if it's something that is of urgency, we'd probably just sell it on a credit vendor or something. just something to get it out real quick. Or there's several ways that it could be done. They obviously have to earn their master cloak of hate and Shatterpoint. But as far as the 2 Elder Jedi robes, we're all for putting it out. It's just, do you want it out right now? We can put it on the credit vendor for 25 million. That'll give you a couple of weeks to grind out, credits, or 100 million or whatever, or tokens or whatever. Or we can build content around it.
Tokens would be the best to do that if you actually want to put that in.
Just for the
do it for
system.
GCW grind, general rank, and for 2,000 comms.
Yeah, so there's definitely tons of ways. I would go more than 2. I'd say probably 5 or 10. There's 2. But yeah, there's ways to do it. We'll get into that once we're in a position to do that. But we do want to add these in. I want to add languages in, and I'm going to once our new website is in.
That would be cool as hell.
Well, I really miss those. Taking those out was really, really dinged the content. The RPs badly.
Well, it hit the role players. I never did role play, but look, I like to do a little bit of everything in the game. If anybody's played with me or knows me, I'm a badge whore. I probably had the most badges on the server. I do everything. I do space. I PvP'd. I ground.
I was
grinded,
a badge
I've done
whore
everything.
on live.
Yeah, same here.
I had every single badge you could get in live, and people thought I was crazy.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So we want everything.
I'm a pub 4 Jedi unlock. I did it back when the Hollow grind was, when it was the original 32 professions.
He likes punishment.
But yeah.
No. Ultimate punishment was when I finally got my Jedi unlock. I had dropped Master Entertainer the day before, and I get my holocron to do it, and I had to do Master Entertainer again.
Whoa, that sucks.
And Entertainer was by far the hardest one to level.
Yeah, because
You would have had
the healing.
You would have had to do it anyway, because even if you were a master and you got the holocron, you would have had to drop it and come back up.
Yeah, so some of these things, like I said, we're going to try to get everything that we want, but if we can't off the bat, on our new forums, I will make a post. We will sell the languages. There's a couple of stipulations that'll be posted. If you do those requirements, we'll grant the languages. And the same for some other things, So,
putting in for the Wookiee language, she put in a quest on Kashyyyk to where you actually have to learn the language from the Wookiees there.
Well, my original thought was, if you do all of the possible badges on Kashyyyk, you could get the comprehension. You could get the speaking ability. But yeah, the comprehension. Then if you ran the actual Rage of the Wookiees, you could actually speak. So once you completed all the possible badges, you basically got both anyway for Kashyyyk. So.
And things like that, once we've got things a little more settled, throw those in to community ideas. We can debate a lot of that back and forth all day, the best way to implement things, but, put that in community ideas, or we may put a section on the website for that to throw some of those ideas around, and some good ways to implement some of that.
Yeah, just remember everything like that, languages or loot or something. That's an excuse for content, right?
We absolutely want to add more content.
So but it gives you a built-in reward. Somebody wants it, they'll do it to get the reward. So
exactly. Ivini's got or had something on the table that we were really and it is still on the table.
It's still on the table, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we did a jewelry set specifically geared for crafters. Well, you know what? Damn it, let's give the Beastmasters some love, and throw that on there. And Ivini had it very well laid out with this and that so that we saw that it was balanced. We absolutely look at those things, and like I said, please don't think we ignore you when those things go up. We look at all the suggestions and things that you guys throw up and want to see implemented.
That sounds like a good plan, guys. Oh, another thing too is I did pull down the SWG code and took a brief look at it. I would have to study it to understand it, but I've been writing software for almost 29 years, so with some study, I probably could answer questions.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. I mean,
I've got a local test server about halfway set up, but I don't feel real motivated to finish it. I was actually setting it up so I could hope when I get to the point where I'm ready to try to plug models into it so I could test them. And since I don't have a model ready, I'm not real motivated to finish.
I mean, basically how we do it, there's some things that's going to try to get grandfathered in from us, like, there at the end, we pulled up a VIP house. I'm going to try to get that back. If not just for, all the work that we've done and a couple of ideas that were inside of it. We would definitely like those back. Some of the buff timers and things like that, we adjusted those. Some of that's just easy to do. The fact is, it's just knowing where it is, what to change, and then where else to change it at. So those questions are from us would be fairly simple. It's where do I find this item? How do I change this piece? And where's it located, basically?
To give you a quick overview, most of so all the core code that runs it, the background, the game engine and stuff is all written in C++. Most of what you think of as the game is actually Java. So unless it's infrastructure, meaning that it's something, that generates the world, lets you move around in it and that kind of thing, it's probably somewhere in the Java. But there is a lot of it. I know that's a broad brush, but
everything he just said is absolutely correct.
reasons I got it is I wanted to see how a pro did it, how they did a commercial game, a commercial MMO, back in the era before these commercial game engines were coming. And it was really seriously well
done. Okay, so does anybody else have anything for me or any of the other team?
I miss you guys.
I just want to say that I hope we all realize this is going to be a lot of work for the team, and that one of the important things to do is remember that we need to have patience and let things happen. Things cannot be done instantly. So it's important that when we make the team aware of things, we don't expect things to be done overnight or instantly. And for us to just keep some perspective and realize that in live, they had the benefit of years and years and an entire company to work from. And I think we all need to try to maintain some patience and understanding and compassion for the team that's going to be working for us.
Yeah, amen to that, buddy.
Yeah, I think you guys have answered most of the questions, and you guys have done a great job. You know, we all I think most of us here feel that way, and I know you guys have shown your appreciation for our appreciation, and we just thank you for putting in your personal time to get this done.
I was just going to say the same thing. This is like the first one that I've been in that didn't spark like a boatload of drama for no reason.
Yeah, I was a bit afraid of that as well. I'm too old for drama, folks. I'm too old. You'll hear about my sister stories, but I tell you this, I got 6 half sisters, and I've had all the drama I want, okay?
Yeah, I've got 4 teenagers. If I want drama, all I have to do is walk in my living room.
There we go. We've all
married
got a
to 'em.
drama source. We've all got a drama source. If we want drama, all we got to do is get away from the computer and get to real life. So,
yeah, and I mean that's a big point of us going private. You know, we come here to play and work to have fun, and you know, a lot of people use this as an escape. A lot of people just enjoy the systems in the game, you know, but nobody comes here for drama, and if they do, they're causing it, and that's not what we want. You know, we don't want any negative drama. We don't want it. We don't want bad apples. We want good people. We want good players. We want helpful people. We want helpful players. We don't want people that are just trying to cause a problem. We don't want them. It don't matter. It don't matter who they are or whatever, you know. If they're running a guild of 100 and just one of them, the guild leader, for instance, is a complete douchebag, pass on all the 100 simply because it's going to be drama ridden throughout. So we can pick who we bring here, and you know, if they play fair and play by the rules, you know, we're not asking too much. Don't be a dick. I mean, that's been the rule on Legends. It's been the rule here. It's going to be our next rule, but you know, we're gonna really moderate that. You know, if you're in here and you're fighting with people and you're always disruptive and being a douchebag, you're not going to be in Discord. And if you keep pushing, you're not going to be playing here. It is simple. You know, we don't want people here that's going to be a problem. We don't want people that's going to cause problems. You know, it's one of those things. You know, we want the best. We want to be quality. We don't want, you know, negative people. And we can do it. So, and we're ready. Okay, so cool. Anything else? You know, hopefully in the next day or so we can post some more announcements, give some more good news. You know, once our new website is ready, you know, I'll post this AMA into it just to sort of reiterate the statement that was delivered up front. Cool. Anybody got anything else they'd like to add or say, or any other questions before I head out?
I got a question about space. I know people were trying to mine asteroids, and I don't know what was happening with it, whether somebody was just hitting an asteroid until it wouldn't give anymore and then going off and taking off. Is there a way that when the asteroid spits its last piece out that it automatically is destroyed?
That's the way it should be working. I know there, right before all this shit happened, it was broken. It was one of the things that was on the list to get fixed, and then shitstorm happened, and now here we are. But yeah, originally that's the way it was. Once the asteroid was empty, you would shoot it, it would explode, a new one would spawn.
and sometimes it can take a long time for the pieces to drift away. I think, you know, it's been a long time since I've done asteroid mining. So
Okay, and about new races, suppose you have all 6 slots and then you decide, and say they're all level 90, and you decide that you want to do one of the other races. Is there a way or like to change one of your characters into the new race, or you just got to delete one?
It's possible.
Yeah, we're not 100% clear on it yet. That will be my main project. So I'm sure we'll work something out, even if it's you have to see maybe an image designer put it in something like that. So we'll see.
Okay, or give people another tune, you know.
Well, 6. We're going to start with 6.
Right. That's what I mean. I mean, it's like World of Warcraft when they come out with new races. They add an extra slot for the new race. So if you want to make one, you don't have to delete one.
Well, really, they'll have to assess that when the time comes, I think, right? It's one of the things we're
Okay.
just not going to know.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I'd like to lead with 6. That's what we had at the end of VoH. I'd like to keep that. A lot of people feel like it's too many, and yeah, I mean, coming from live, that's literally 3 accounts for Jedi earned, but 6 is a fair number. Don't know if we'll go more than that. If by chance we do get races in, or different races or whatever, yeah, we will try and do something so that you can change one character at least. So yeah, I mean, we'll work with you the best that we can. Hopefully,
Maybe like a potion or something like that.
No, image designer would be a great idea.
Oh yeah, it would.
Well, that too, or if you guys do the veteran house again or the VIP house, maybe some sort of token that will do a sex change or a race change.
Yeah, that was on the board then and a possibility. So I mean, it is possible. It just it just takes time and a little effort. So.
And like I say, some of this stuff, again, it's not that you're not listening to, but you never know what we're planning behind the scenes to do some of it. So, bear with it, trust the process.
And it's also important to remember sometimes things are left out, not because they don't want to do it, but because of stability issues or other things that need to be addressed first.
I agree with that.
Okay. Anything else? I mean, we've pretty much covered everything. I mean, I would love to give an ETA as soon as we get one. Yeah, we will post it just as soon as we find out the ETA. It could be sooner than you think. It may be a few days longer. It's just really hard to tell right now.
The thing is, just take your time, do it right.
Yeah, that's what we want. We want to make sure that everything's done correct. We don't want to rush. We don't want to half-ass anything. We want to do this 100%. That's one point of us opening the TC first, to show you that we're not going to be doing this cowboy code, and we're not going to be, pushing faulty or bug-ridden content. We're going to do our best to push full 100% tested content ready. And that's the whole point of TC, so that we can check it and test it. And so.
Well, I'm in it for the long haul, so whatever you guys do, I'll just back you up.
Well, it will definitely be worth it. It will be worth it. Okay, so if nobody has anything else,
Yeah, one last thing. I'm going to you guys want to go. We've been here an hour. I'm sure everybody, like Zerma just said, or no, Hawk just said, just thank you guys for all the effort you put into this. We really appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
Well, hopefully we can get some news to you in the next day or two, and give you an ETA when we can actually get in here and play. I'm a player. I've always been a player. I've been a player since Legends. I started Reborn and then Legends, and I like playing. That's what I want to do. Yeah, I can't wait to get in. I can't wait to jump back in and redo everything. I guess it sucks losing all that, but with the new server and a new start, it'll be a lot better. We can do things right off the bat and not worry about anything that has happened previously. So the biggest thanks goes out to all of you that are going to play here. We appreciate your support. We definitely appreciate your loyalty. And it's not for naught. I mean, it is worth it. It will be worth it. Like I said, we will do what we can to take care of you and make sure that you're having fun and enjoying this game. Okay, that's.
I think the thanks goes out to you guys for taking the time to do this to make us have something to do in our spare time.
Amen to that.
Okay, so that's it. I definitely appreciate everyone's attention and patience. I will get with you just as soon as we release. I know there's people that's already interested in testing and all these things, and I will get with you. Just remind me, when I make the post. We'll let you in, let you get to testing, let you, pick what you're after and all that, and we'll go from there. Hopefully get this lined out and ready and open and moving forward again.
I'm definitely interested in testing, but I have a real life medical condition, and one of the things with me is that it can hit me all of a sudden where I've just got to lay down. But I'm interested in testing. I don't know how valuable my insight would be, but still, the thought's there.
Yeah, and we definitely appreciate it. I mean, it will be one of the things to where, like I said, we'll open a testing phase A, and this will be our staff. Our staff will get in, and we're going to run through as much of the content as we can. If everything looks good in the first day or first couple of days, we're going to end it there and then just go ahead and open the number 2 phase, and that's the players. We'll give them a couple of days. If it's, if they're having issues and stuff, then yeah, we may extend it on out. If they're not having issues and everything's working as intended, and then at that point, it's time to open live and, have our grand opening. So yeah, just as soon as we get to that point, we'll let everyone know. Like I said, let me just remind everyone, once we get a little farther out, this Discord will be wiped. There may be some people kept, we may do something beforehand to sort of get everyone removed. But, when we post our webpage and all that, we will let everyone know what's going on. So yeah, I appreciate everybody coming. Stay tuned. We got another couple announcements later the next couple of days. So definitely appreciate everyone. So thank you.
Thanks, Service.
Yeah, bye.
Thank you.
Yep. Everybody have a good evening.
All right, you too.
Cool.
Take care, guys.
Thank you guys, and see you later.
You're move your headset, Nader.
I know how to use a headset.